this is a formal occasion because we are here on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. Liz, would you like to join me here? So, I have some formal words. It is a great honour for me and for Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Hertfordshire to be here today representing Her Majesty the Queen, to present you, the volunteers of Keech Hospice Care, with the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. This is the highest award given to volunteer groups in the UK. It is an award for the volunteers yourselves to acknowledge the real difference your voluntary work makes. To win this award is a tremendous achievement and shows the highest recognition of all the volunteers and staff of Keech Hospice Care. As one of the few hospices in the country to care for both adults and children, Keech Hospice Care provides its services not only here in Bedfordshire, but also in Hertfordshire and Milton Keynes. Keech supports adults and children to live pain and symptom-free whilst living with life-limiting illnesses. People come to Keech to be supported to maximise the enjoyment of their lives. You volunteers are the backbone of Keech Hospice Care, without whom it simply would not exist. As an army for good, you continually strive to make a difference when it matters most, and to make every day count for patients and their families. The last 6 months have been extraordinary. I think we've all just been talking about that, and something that we could never have predicted or planned for. Like all charitable organisations, this has been a very challenging time for Keech Hospice Care. But typically, you have found innovative and alternative ways to deliver your service and continue with some of the vital fundraising. I'm so proud of the way everyone has stepped up and responded through the pandemic and lockdown. I know that the pressure on you continues and that you're understandably a little bit exhausted, but I do want to make sure that you know how much your contribution is treasured and valued by our communities. We do not take for granted at all your incredible efforts. In Bedfordshire, people choose to become volunteers for a variety of reasons. For example, to give something back to an organisation that has impacted on their life, to make a difference to the lives of others, perhaps to help the environment, to help others less fortunate or without a voice, to feel valued and part of a team, or to gain confidence and self-esteem. Regardless of your motivation, what unites you all is that you find your service both rewarding and challenging. There are almost 1,500 volunteers at Keech Hospice Care, and you each represent volunteering at its very best. You drive the services, and you are a force for good. I'd like to say that I'm very grateful to my team of deputy lieutenants who put in an extraordinary amount of work to helping with the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service nominations, from promoting the awards to carrying out the assessment visits. And I gather they can be very draconian, but I hope you found it helpful.
Very nice. Very helpful.
And my thanks particular to Paul Fuller, who is one of my deputies, but better known to you probably as the Chief Fire Officer, who led the assessment team and of course has been a big supporter of Keech over the years. Along with Colette McKeveney from Age Concern, Lloyd Denny, Gordon Rules, and others that supported them. They're very sad, of course, not to be able to be here to join you, just as we're sad that we couldn't have everybody and have a giant party as we normally would because of the COVID restrictions. But this small ceremony will be beamed by the wonders of technology, probably right across the world. At at least to all volunteers, along with a note of thanks from me and a personal Queen's Awards badge. So with volunteers at the heart of its activity, Keech Hospice Care is an exceptionally well-run, high-quality organisation and represents the very best example of how well-coordinated and dedicated volunteers can make a genuine impact on everyone that uses their services. So I'd now like to call forward Liz Searle, your Chief Executive, to accept the award on behalf of the volunteers of Keech Hospice Care. So I will start. There are two elements of this. First, there is the warrant. So I'm not going to touch it, and Liz is not going to touch it till after it's been disinfected or whatever. But actually I will touch it in a minute. But Liz, on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, it is my great honour to present you Keech Hospice Care with the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. And this is signed by Her Majesty the Queen, and I will read the warrant. Elizabeth II, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of our other realms and territories, Queen, Defender of the Faith, to Keech Hospice Care, for caring and supporting children in Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire and Milton Keynes, and adults in Luton and South Bedfordshire. Greeting. We, being cognizant of the said group's outstanding voluntary work in the community, and being desirous of showing our royal favour, do hereby confer upon it the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service by Groups in the Community 2020. For such period as the group continues to provide its current service, and do hereby give permission for the authorised emblem of the said award to be displayed upon the group's letterhead and other public material. Given at our Court of St James, under our Royal Sign Manual, this 2nd day of June 2020, in the 69th year of our reign. Congratulations. Thank you. And this beautiful glass award, which is a very special one, and I know that you will display it with great pride, and everybody who comes to Keech will look at this and know that it is supported by you wonderful volunteers. So my congratulations, and congratulations to you all. Well done.
Our volunteers. We are so proud to be the recipients of the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. Over nearly 30 years, the very existence of this hospice has been based on the generosity and determination of our volunteers. As we approach our 30th year, volunteers remain the foundation of everything we do. Last year, 1,418 volunteers gave freely of their time to enable us to deliver outstanding care to our patients and our families. Our volunteers come from every walk of life and every part of our community, and we only achieve our vision because of them. The first 6 months of this year, as Helen mentioned, has been hugely challenging in every way. The well-being of our volunteers has been at the forefront of our mind. Slowly we are restoring our services, and yet again it will be our volunteers that safely help us to be a success. Never have we needed you more, and we thank you for your patience. And so I say to every single volunteer, you matter, you make a difference. Your great generosity has a profound and lasting impact on our patients and our families. Your willingness to share both your time and your talent by volunteering with us at Keech Hospice Care, it says a lot about you as a human being. Your willingness to give selflessly to others speaks both of your strength and of the quality of your character. When you volunteer, you make a commitment to share the most precious of resources, your time. to make life better for those who are in need. Your hard work makes a real impact. You are willing to share and lend a helping hand and to show kindness and caring that makes the greatest difference in the lives of the individuals who are touched by your generosity. Whilst I know that you chose to volunteer selflessly and without expectation of being recognised or rewarded, today this award belongs to you. I want you to know just how much your dedication is appreciated, and to make sure that you know everybody at Keech Hospice Care is forever grateful to you. Whether you are a long-time volunteer or you spend just a few hours, you chose to give what you do. You chose to give, and what you do makes a difference. Words cannot adequately express the gratitude that I, the board, and the staff of Keech Hospice Care wish to convey. Please know that you are recognised, appreciated, valued and cherished, and we look forward to the future making a difference together. Thank you.
Thank you. Two people are Tasneem Fatabai from St Albans Shop Volunteer and Adrian Richardson, fundraising volunteer.
Excellent.